over the ESPN platforms, and we'll be seeing a lot of pay for what you need. Hey, Jarrett Stidham set to start the conference championship game for the Broncos on Sunday, a chance to get to the Super Bowl on the line. He's going up against the Patriots, the team that drafted him. Stidham has not thrown a pass since Week 18 of the 2023 season at the Raiders. And overall, Stidham has made 4 starts in his career. All were regular season starts. That'll be the fewest starts by any player at the time of a start in the conference championship. 1 fewer than Jeff Hostetler, entering the Giants NFC championship game in San Francisco after the 1990 season. Big Blue won that game. The 3 QBs on the list actually 2-1 in their respective conference championship starts. But as you can tell from the final score, the offenses didn't do much in any of those games. So we'll see what kind of history Jarrett Stidham can potentially make. Jeremy Fowler is in Denver, saw practice today. So, Jeremy, what should we know about the plans for Stidham?
Laura, the Broncos just wrapped up practice seconds ago, and I can tell you that with Jarrett Stidham, they have formulated their plan, and don't be surprised if they let him open things up in the passing game, at least in spots. I've texted with multiple people in the building, and they say things like, quote, super smart, quick decision maker, plays the game with anticipation and accuracy as a thrower. So he'll let things develop downfield, go through his second or third read, try to get the ball deep a little bit. The Broncos are okay with that as long as Sean Payton knows he's not going to take a lot of sacks. In Payton's mind, a sack is as bad as a turnover. So they'll hope for the best, develop him this week, go from there. And then also a source in the building told me, look, we have Sean Payton. That's kind of a common refrain around here. They know they have one of the very best play callers in the NFL. He's great with all quarterbacks. He went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater as his backup in New Orleans in 2019. So he's prepared for this kind of moment. Quick note, Laura, on the injury front, receivers Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin did have helmets on. They were out in the field during individual drills. We're not doing much from what I saw, but that's at least a good sign. And then J.K. Dobbins, the running back, told reporters, we will see about his availability. He's been out since November.
Yeah, they hope to have all hands on deck, certainly, to help out Stidham. Thanks so much to Jeremy for the latest there. And the other thing that helps, you got a defense like that, right? If your defense is great, maybe Stidham can manage things offensively and hold on to this. All right, Field, what do you expect the offense to look like with Stidham at quarterback?
Well, Jeremy just mentioned Sean Payton, his play calling. I think this is by far the most diverse offense the Patriots have faced in just 3 playoff games, right? Los Angeles Chargers, Houston Texans, not going to throw quite as many wrinkles at you as I do believe Denver will throw on Sunday. Sean Payton has been doing this for a long time. He's always had something up his sleeve. Jarrett Stidham has not played a game of consequence in a couple of years. What we do know about Stidham is he's got an absolute rocket. He's unafraid to try to throw it into some tight windows there. He's got a lot of confidence as well. And we can do a little bit of following the money here with Denver, too, right? I mean, Sean Payton gets the job. Who's one of the first players he brings to Denver with him? Jarrett Stidham. This past offseason, Jarrett Stidham had some interest from a bunch of teams. Where does he end up staying? In Denver. 2-year, $12 million contract, right? So the Broncos, they weren't planning for Bo Nix to break his ankle in the second to last play of the AFC divisional round game. But they did know, Dan, that if something happens to Bo Nix, this guy, Jarrett Stidham, is somebody we feel confident can keep things afloat here.
Yeah, so obviously I know what it's like to be a backup quarterback. Maybe a backup, Shady. I think if you're Jarrett Stidham, your mindset's got to be, I'm not supposed to be the person to win this game. No. I've got a top 5 defense in the NFL. I'm going to let them win the game. Yeah. I've got a coach that is a Super Bowl champion and one of the best offensive minds that we have in football. I'm going to let Sean Payton win the game. And so I think if you're Jarrett Stidham, there is a freedom of, I don't have to do anything above myself. I don't have to do too much. I do think Sean will be aggressive. And I think if you watch Jarrett, and I understand it's in the preseason this year, one, he's really good moving, whether it's up in the pocket. Sometimes they design stuff to get him outside on the perimeter. Throwing on the run is really good. I also think he's aggressive with the football downfield. And so if there's opportunities, you're not going to get a cautious player. I think you're going to get a guy that is smart, but you have to go to Sean Payton and be like, you win the game. I'm not. You're Sean Payton. I'm just Jarrett Stidham.
Exciting day. I love this day, you guys. Mel Kiper Jr. has released his first mock draft. Mel is here to talk about all of it with us. And Mel, get us going with the quarterbacks. Just 2 of them in the first round. Let's start with the Raiders and that first overall pick.
Aren't the Raiders thrilled to be picking first and get Fernando Mendoza? Well, you're in that division in the AFC with all these great quarterbacks. Mendoza, talking about nailing the process into the draft in terms of your final year, week after week, getting it done. And over the 4 games down the stretch, the 4 biggest games of the year, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's 9 passing, 1 rushing, 74% completion percentage. You see the athleticism there, which surprised some people. Didn't if you watched them all year. A fierce competitor. He's going to bring so much positivity to that organization. Ty Simpson to the Jets. Dano said around the middle of the first, I thought, hey, Mac Jones went mid-first. This kid's a more athletic, faster version of Ty Simpson. Ty is. And you think about the first 9 games, 21 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Went back to my notes. I was raving about this kid. I had 16 on the board moving up, with an arrow moving up. Then he had some struggles. The O-line didn't get it done. They had no running game. Ryan Williams didn't play up to the level expected. And he had some struggles. He had 5 fumbles over a 7-game period. But you really have to balance it all out. At the end of the day, I think Ty Simpson certainly deserves to be a mid-first round draft choice.
Oh, I love this. Field, let's start with Ty Simpson. Is that the smart choice for the Jets at 16?
Pains me to say that Mel is correct on this one here, Laura. I think if you polled 32 NFL teams, the grade would be a little bit lower than 16th overall. It might be closer to the 2nd round for Ty Simpson. What happens every year, though, with quarterbacks? They get boosted up the board. Why? Because there are more teams that need quarterbacks than there are quarterbacks available. And ultimately, I think the pre-draft process will be good to Ty Simpson. I also remind people of this every single year. If the draft were held in January, it would go a whole lot different than if the draft were held in April, when it is held. You know why? Because we forget about the bad stuff and we focus on the good stuff. And there was a lot of good stuff. It was a tale of 2 seasons for Ty Simpson at Alabama this past year. I think the Jets will gravitate towards the processing, the accuracy, enough mobility, and some of the it's not elite razzle-dazzle, but even Kirby Smart, the Georgia head coach, talked about how, Ty Simpson with his legs is a bigger problem than people realize. We saw that in the Auburn game, late in the Iron Bowl with a dramatic win. So there's enough good there that I do think Ty Simpson finds himself somewhere in the middle of the first round.
Yeah, I think the 2 big questions in relation to Ty are going to be, 1, how's he measure?
Yep.
How big is he from a
6'2"-ish.
height? If he's 6'2", yeah, he ain't going past 16.
He's
And how big is
6'2".
he? You know, how wide is he? Oh, if he's 6'2",
he's big.
Okay, but I do think that's going to be the starting point. I think the second thing is, listen, 8 New Orleans. I don't think they take anybody because the way Tyler Shuck played. Miami at 11. Let's see. Might be rich, but you never know. The Rams at 13, I would not be surprised in the least bit if he doesn't get past the Rams at 13. So I just think, especially if they win it, So he's going to be a very much so talked about prospect.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think deserving of a lot of this praise. We'll obviously dissect him a ton. Mel will be a big piece of that. And Fernando Mendoza seemingly doesn't need any dissection, although we'll still do it. Thanks to Mel. Hey, check out the mock draft. It's all over.
You need to let Sean Payton be the star.
We've seen some of these quarterbacks, and, I mean, it happened with the Texans, throw the game away in a lot of ways. I mean, do you think that affects the way that they game plan this a little bit? Just try to be really careful with the football? Or?
No, I think no. Sean Payton's the guy that started the second half with an onside kick. He ain't going to be careful at all, and I don't think he wants Jarrett Stidham to be. Also, New England's offense can be explosive at times. They're going to throw the ball downfield one-on-one opportunities. So I think you cut it loose and go try to win the football game, just like if Bo Nix was your guy.
Field, we're going to be making all these game picks later on in the week, but you're not going to be here, so you want to make some picks for this weekend?
Patriots